I just play it really soft so I can hear it, but I don't want it. You guys can play your own if you wish. It's fun with Zoom, that works so much better. Okay, gonna get started. All right, so we're gonna work on some back bends today, and we're gonna work on what I'm calling the pulsation of the heart. So our heart is constantly, of course, beating, and that works in conjunction with our lungs to help move our blood flow and our oxygen throughout our bodies. And so there's this like kind of constant give and take, and we'll be exploring that in our practice. Hey, Peggy, how are you? All right, so we are going to need some props. We're going to start in a supported chest opener. So we're going to use the 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, you can also sub in like 2 pillows. That would work. So if you have the blocks, that would be great. We're also going to need 2 yoga blankets for something we're going to do a little bit later. So I'll meet you on your mat in a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody. Just want to, hold on one second. Peggy popped in, so I just want to mark her off. Okay. So if you have any questions, excuse me, feel free to unmute yourself at any time if you want. And always remember, take care of your body. Anything doesn't feel right, feel free to modify, change things up if you wish. All right. Okay. So go ahead and set up your blocks in a way that feels appropriate for you. So I've got mine kind of, the one under my shoulder blades is going to go on middle setting, and the one under my head is going to go on the higher setting. If you prefer, you could always lower those blocks down as much as you would like. And then we're going to position ourselves so that first block comes right behind the back of the shoulder blades. So right around the bottom tips, strap line area, and the other block under your head. And then legs could be however you wish. They could be straight, they could be bent, they could be bound angle. And we're going to just start here, just settling in. I'm going to come up so I can talk a little easier. So we're going to take about maybe 3-4 minutes to settle into this pose, to settle into your breath. So once you get still, you might even tuck your shoulder blades a little bit so you feel more open across your chest. And then beginning to observe the flow of your breath, if you can, in and out through your nose. And getting really acquainted here, noticing, sensing, feeling into your breath, the movement of the breath in your body. And that subtle pulsation of giving and receiving. So as you inhale, receive that breath. And as you exhale, soften and release the breath. And see if you can stay present with that pulsation as you stay here for a few more moments. Noticing how the lungs and the heart and the diaphragm are all working together. And as we inhale and that diaphragm descends, it's actually giving a little stretch to the heart. So the diaphragm moving down pulls the heart downward a little bit through the pericardium, just a little stretch. And as you exhale, it releases. So we're getting this nice little pumping action into our heart, as well as into our abdominal organs as we breathe into this pulsation. Let's take about 3 more cycles here, just noticing what is present for you this morning. And then we're going to start to work with what I call pandiculation. So pandiculation is a term we use in somatic yoga, but I'm going to apply it here to some of the principles we're doing today. So pandiculation is, if you ever see your pets when they get up from a long nap, they get up and they kind of stretch their limbs and they shake it off a little bit, and then they release it. And so this is a term that is also used in the world of trauma. Peter Levine is one that observed it in the animals and then brought this concept into working with trauma. So we're going to use it to combine an expansion and a contraction in our bodies. So it's very simple. I'm going to bring your arms out to the side if they're not there. And as you inhale, you're going to stretch your arms away from you. And now at the same time, make a fist and engage your arms like you're really contracting all of the muscles. And then go ahead and just soften and let those arms release. And we're going to do that 2 more times like this. So inhale, stretch your arms away, make fists, squeeze your arm and shoulder muscles, and then let them soften into the ground. When you let them soften into the ground, try to release completely. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, reach the arms, engage the arms, make a muscle, contract, and then release. So this helps to create contrast in our brain so that we can release any tension that we might be holding. Now we're going to do that same thing with the arms overhead. So take your arms and reach them overhead. And if it's a little too much on the shoulders, you can always bend the arms a little bit. So reach them, inhale, lengthen, and then squeeze the arms. You might feel a squeeze in the belly as you do that. And then soften and relax your arms back down. And they can come back down to your side, or you could keep them overhead if you like. And then 2 more like that. Inhale, reach, squeeze the arms as you stretch them. And this is a great way as well to increase our flexibility, release. It's called active range of motion. So active range of motion, we're stretching as we engage. 1 more time. Inhale, reach, squeeze, contract those arms, and then let it all go. All right, so just have a breath here. Just maybe feel little pulsations in your body and the heartbeat. And then we're going to slowly come off of these props. So we're going to bend the knees and roll to the side. And you can take your blocks out of the way. We're going to come back down onto our backs. And then we're going to add in some pandiculation with our legs as well. And then from here, we'll start to get moving a bit. So this is going to be helpful. We're going to work on some back bends, and we're going to use some of these actions later on. So we're going to bring our awareness to the right leg. As you inhale, push through your leg from your hip joint and really reach through that leg. Now engage the leg, firm the leg, and try to lift it off the ground as you do that. You're going to feel kind of a lengthening and a contraction, and then release it all the way. Relax the leg completely. And now let's do that on the other side. Inhale, reach the leg long, engage the leg, almost like you're pressing it into the ground at first. Now try to lift it off the ground and just feel what that feels like. And then completely relax and melt it down. Take your arms overhead like a full body stretch. And now we're going to do an arm and the leg at the same time. So right leg, right arm, reach them, engage them, and lift them off the ground. Really expand. And then release and soften. All the way, all effort. And on the other side, reach, left leg, left arm, contract, lengthen. It also helps lengthen through your psoas. And then release. We're going to do that now. Both arms, both legs. So take an inhale, stretch long. Engage your legs, your arms, try to lift them off the ground, really squeeze, and then melt it all down. Soften every effort. And just have a breath here now, just noticing what that feels like to completely release. And then from here, inhale to just a full body stretch, no contraction. And exhale, bring your knees in for a squeeze. And let's repeat that. Inhale, open up, big stretch. And then exhale into a contraction. Maybe lift your head, chest, and shoulders. One more time. Inhale, big stretch. Exhale, curl up. And now release one more time. Arms down. And tune into that pulsation in your body, in your heart, in your breath. The breath always rising and falling right into each other. So they just like inhale turns into an exhale, exhale turns into an inhale. All right, let's go ahead, hug those knees. We're gonna roll to the side and come on up into a seated posture. And if you want, you can grab something to sit on. If you wanna sit up on a pillow or a blanket, and find a comfortable seat. Okay. Maybe widen out the sit bones a little bit, get grounded. And we're just gonna take a couple moments just to sit here. Let the hands rest on the legs, and you could gently close your eyes. We'll take a few breaths. And just coming back to noticing that pulsation, the pulsation of the breath in conjunction with the pulsation of the heart. We're gonna just do a quick little brief guided work here. This is from meditation teacher Sally Kempton. So as you breathe for a few more moments, we're gonna just have a little reflection on giving and receiving. So reflect on areas of your life, spiritual experience, love, success, health, money, and then focus on one thing. Asking yourself how your life would specifically benefit from receiving this one thing that you might need. And how would others or the world also benefit from it? And in what ways are you blocking yourself from receiving it? So what would you like to receive more of right now? Love, success, health, time. There's so many different things. Focus on that one thing. And now consider what gifts you have to give away, what you yourself have to offer. How can you offer a gift or a blessing as an exchange for what you wish to receive? So there's this constant give and take, right? What specific thing can you do today or this week to make this offering, to open up the channels of giving and receiving? How can you help someone else to receive the gift that you desire? When we cultivate generosity of spirit, we invite more of the same back to ourselves. All right, so from here, let's go ahead and bring our hands onto the heart space. Good. And then just take a moment and draw that heart space down. So you're pulling on the flesh. Lift your chin and gently tip your head back, opening your throat space. Maybe even put your bottom teeth on top of your top teeth. Good stretch there. And then slowly come up. And now we're going to take the right arm out to the side. You're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, twist towards your right and use your left hand to slide the heart tissue toward your shoulder. So you're broadening your collarbone and you're getting a myofascial release on the front of your chest. And now release back to center. We'll do that on the other side. So left arm out to the side, slide your flesh toward the shoulder and open up into that tissue of the chest. And now let's do that a couple times on each side. So go ahead and switch, reach, and just stretch that tissue on the front of the shoulder, the collarbone, going side to side. And we're going to do one more cycle. So after this one more cycle. And now back to the center. Go ahead and release your arms. Changing it up a little bit. We're going to put one hand on the right chest collarbone, right below your collarbone. And we're going to take the right arm and reach it up. At the same time, pull the flesh down. So again, we're getting that myofascial release. Release the arm and then inhale, reach the arm up and pull the flesh down. One more time on this side. Arm down, reach and pull. So our tissues get really tight in here, especially with the cold weather, right? Let's try the other side. Hand below the collarbone on the outer chest, reach the arm up and pull that flesh down. And you'll do 2 more rounds like that. Last one. Good, and then release. And then we're gonna inhale, reach both of the arms up, put the palms together, and then drop your palms behind the back of your head. Lift the elbows toward the sky, lengthening through your side body. Now, as you inhale, we're gonna do a little slight cat-cow. So inhale, let your back arch a little bit. So a little back bend. And now as you exhale, bring those palms forward, push forward, round your spine. And now inhale, palms together, arch. You might look up. Exhale, push and round your spine. One more like that. Inhale, arch, lift up. And exhale, push forward. Good. And then we're going to release and just go ahead, roll your shoulders out a little bit here. Okay. So from here, let's come into our tabletop pose, all fours. And we kind of already did a cat-cow, so we can just bypass that. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to take your right leg straight back behind you and kind of reach it back, engage the leg, and then lift it up to about hip height. Now keep that belly tone, try not to dump down into your lower back. And then keep that leg lifted, keep it engaged, and we'll slowly bend the knee any amount. Now, I know some of my peeps out there get their hamstring cramps. So go slow. If you get the cramp, then pause and just let it go for a moment. If you start to feel it cramping, don't go any farther. Those of you who can are going to squeeze the heel all the way in and lift your thigh up. Good, and then release. Let's try the other side. Take the leg back, stretch it back, engage the muscles, lift the leg up to about hip height. Keep the hips level, belly toned, and the leg engaged, and then we're going to slowly bend that knee. Squeeze it in as far as you can, lifting the thigh bone up. Good, and then release. We're going to take the knees wide and move back to a child's pose. Hold here for another breath. And then slide forward onto your abdomen. Okay, so we're going to come into Sphinx pose. Line up your elbows under your shoulders and your wrists in line with your elbows. On your inhale, you're going to pull with your hands. Pull your hands towards your feet. Pull your chest forward. Lift your gaze. And as you exhale, push with your hands. Round your spine and lift up through your ribs, through your navel, maybe a little bit into your thighs. And then release. Inhale, pull forward. Find that pulsation. Exhale, push and round. Let's do 3 more cycles. So a little bit of a cat-cow here too. 2 more cycles on your own. Last one. Remember to pull and push. And then we're going to come down. Just take a moment, rest those arms. Take a breath. Okay, so we're going to take a little more shoulder work here. Bring the right forearm out to the side like a goalpost. So the elbow is in line with the shoulder. And some of you have done this kind of stretch with me before, but usually we have the arm straight. We're going to keep the arm bent today. Take your left hand under your shoulder, and then we're going to start to roll over onto that right hip. And the head can come to the ground. Maybe the foot steps back behind you. You can also bring that foot flat and wrap the left arm around your back. So I'm just going to check on you guys, see how you're doing with that, because I had my back to you for a little bit. All right, looks good. So be mindful of how this feels in your shoulder. If it's too much, then don't go so far into it. Maybe not taking that leg back, and you're going to hold for a few breaths. Find that pulsation of the breath and see if you can soften into it. So we're trying to, again, this is like a myofascial release in the front of the shoulder. Go ahead, take one more breath. And then you can slowly, slowly release, come back to your abdomen, and then let's change sides. So when you're ready, put your left forearm into that goalpost right in line with your shoulder, and then bring the right hand in and start to roll and press toward that left side. You can either stack your legs up or bring a leg behind you. You could just have a toe on the floor, or you can bring that whole foot to the floor. And I forgot to mention, if you want to add a little more juice to this, you could gently press your arm and shoulder into the ground. Holding here, let's take another breath cycle. And then go ahead, slowly release and come back down to the center and pause. Okay, so starting out a little slow, we're going to get moving in a little bit. I want you to grab 2 blankets, or you can even use pillows off of your sofa. And I've taken these blankets and I folded them up so that they're pretty small. So I'll just come a little closer. So I fold it, how it comes off the pile, once in half and then again. So it's like this little bundle. Okay, you can also use pillows from the sofa if you want. Okay, so it's another kind of myofascial release for the arms and shoulders. We're going to put them apart about max distance and tilt them out on a slight angle. 2 options here, guys. You can take this as a child's pose. We're going to have a bit of a shoulder opener, or you can take it as puppy where you're on your knees. I'm going to show both and you can decide. Puppy is going to be a little more demanding, child's pose a little less so. So you can either have your forearms on the blankets and come into like a puppy pose, walking your hips back, or you can have your hips down and be in child's pose. So that's option 1. Option 2, you're going to put your upper arm on the props, and that gets a little deeper. So upper arms on the props and then palms together behind your head like we did in the beginning. And again, you could be in child's pose, or you could walk your legs back and be in puppy, which again is going to be a bigger demand on your shoulders. Okay, so once you're there, we're going to take a few breaths. So deciding what would feel best, either forearms on the props or upper arms, and bring your palms behind your head. Let's Take about 3, 4 more breaths. You can always come out if you need to. You can even press gently down into your props if you wish. Last 2 breath cycles. After your second breath cycle, you're going to slowly start to release. And you can go ahead and come up into a tabletop pose. We're going to do a couple lunges here. So if you need blocks under your hands for your lunges, well, you're welcome to put your blocks under your hands. So I'll show that in case you guys need that. Okay, we're going to step the right foot forward and come up into our lunge. Make sure you're patting that back knee if it needs it. Find your neutral pelvis. So lifting the front of the pelvis, lift your hip points, lengthen your tailbone down, and then we're going to take the arms out to a T. And we're going to do that same work we just did with the chest in a bit of a twist. So I'm going to keep my right arm out to the side, bring my left hand to my chest, inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to turn to the right and slide my hand across the chest, opening across that front of that shoulder. And let's repeat. Inhale forward and exhale, and you might slide into your front knee, going a little deeper into your lunge as you do this twist, and then back to center. Or you could stay more neutral. One more time. Inhale, open up, slide into that front knee. Now hold it here this time. Let's hold for an extra breath or two. Root into your front foot and stretch across that tissue. Good, release. Bring your hands down and step back, other side. Step the other foot forward and come on up into your lunge. Adjust your pelvis, lifting the front, lengthening the back. Left arm out to the side. Right hand on the chest. Inhale, and then turn into the twist, maybe bending a little deeper into that knee, and then release. So to your breath, whatever feels right for you, I like to move on the inhale here, so it's more expansive, but that might feel better for you to exhale. Either way is fine. Good, and then release. And we'll step out of that pose. Okay, so we're gonna come up to dog. If you've got blankets on your mat, you can go ahead and take those off. And when you're ready, find your way to downward facing dog. Lifting those hips up and back. And feel free, let's take some time, move around, pedal it out, shake out your head. And then coming into stillness in your dog, bend the knees a little bit, lift your sit bones up, take an inhale and lift the sit bones, press through your palms, and then exhale, firm your muscles onto your bones. So engaging those arms and shoulders. One more breath. And then from here, look forward, walk your feet to meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands can be on the floor, shins, or thighs. Exhale and fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up. And exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. Good. Okay, couple sun salves. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. And then plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Take an inhale in your plank, and as you exhale, lower all the way down. When you come into your cobra, let's pull the hands back, pull the chest forward, and get those shoulders back. And then release, downward facing dog. Hold your dog for another breath. And then when you're ready, look forward and either step or lightly jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. And this time, take that goalpost, pull down, lift your chest, get into that front of the chest tissue again, and reach your arms up. And let's fold right over the legs one more round. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Good. Plant your hands, step it back. Good. Inhale and plank, exhale, lower down. Inhale, pull the hands, reach your chest forward. Downward facing dog. Hold your dog, another breath. And then take an inhale, and as you exhale, step or lightly jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This time, stay in that forward fold. We're gonna take a couple extra moments there. You can hold opposite elbows or big toes. Find the pulsation of the breath. And as you inhale, see if you can feel a lengthening through your spine, through your chest. And as you exhale, rooting through your feet and your legs. If you have opposite elbows, go ahead and switch. And then when you're ready, either rolling up or hands to hips and press up to stand. Good. Okay, standing in your mountain pose, let's hold for a moment, shoulders back, lift through the crown of the head. And then here we go. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. You can skip vinyasa if you like, or go ahead and step back to plank. You can do cobra or lower halfway, chaturanga, up dog if you wish, or stay in a low cobra, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, we're gonna take the right leg straight up behind you and step through, coming into a warrior one. So we're gonna bend into that front knee and reach the arms up. Hold here, really rooting through the feet. Take your back thigh, send it back, rooting more into the back heel, and then bend a little deeper into the front knee. Let's keep the front of the pelvis lifting as well. Good, bring the palms together if that's appropriate for your shoulders, and gently press them together and reach them up. And then if it's feeling good for you, go ahead and bend the elbows, bring the palms behind the head. Squeeze those elbows in and lift them up as you bend a little deeper into your front knee. One more breath here. On your next inhale, take those arms up, sweep them behind you, clasp your hands behind your back. And as you inhale, open through your heart space. And as you exhale, humble warrior. Bring your chest toward your thigh or shoulder inside your knee and fold inward. Now, as best you can, keep that front hip pulling in. Don't let it swing too far to the side. Hold it here, one more breath. Keep the collarbones open, shoulders back. And then on your next inhale, we're gonna rise up to warrior one and open to warrior two. So adjust your feet. Now you're facing the long side of your mat. Reach out wide through your arms. Bend a little deeper into your front knee and take your thighs back, sit bones forward. Okay, from here, let's bring hands to the heart. Hold the hands at the heart. We're gonna straighten the front leg. As you straighten the front leg, press into your big toe mound and try not to jam through your knee. You're gonna keep a micro bend. As you inhale, lift through your chest. As you exhale, you're gonna side bend toward triangle, toward that front leg. Good. And then we're gonna slowly come up. So we'll inhale, come up. And exhale, come toward the pose. Now we're gonna hold here, really root into your legs and use your hands to turn your heart up toward the ceiling a bit. Take your bottom hand down to your shin or a block. Keep your top hand pulling that heart upward into a bit of a twist. Keep rooting into your legs and bring your bottom hand back to your heart. Good. Now we inhale, we're going to open those arms wide. And as we exhale, we're going to bring them back to the heart. Good. 2 more times. Inhale, expand. If this is too much, you can also keep one hand down. And last time, inhale, expand. Exhale to the heart, and we're going to bend that knee and come back up to warrior 2. Good. Release your arms out to the side. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back. Take the vinyasa if you wish, or go right to downward facing dog. And we'll do that on the other side. So when you're ready, inhale, left leg up and step through to warrior 1. So I'm going to switch sides so I'm not facing away from you guys. Bend deeply into the front knee. Send your back thigh back so we get heavier and more rooted into the back heel. And then arms up. Lift through your rib cage. Reach those arms high. And we're going to bring the palms together. Maybe gaze up for a moment. And then if it feels right for you, bend those elbows. Bring your palms behind the back of your head. And reach those elbows up high. Bend a little deeper into your front knee. Good. On your next inhale, the arms come up. And then sweep them back behind you. Interlace your hands. Open across your heart space. And then fold forward into humble warrior. You can bring your chest to your thigh or dip inside your leg. Keep the front sit bone pulling back and in. One more breath. Open the collarbones, open the shoulders. As you inhale, release, take your arms up and open up to warrior 2. Good. Take a little deeper bend in that front knee. Thighs back, sit bones forward. We're lifting the front of the pelvis. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Inhale, straighten that front leg, press through the big toe mound. And then as you exhale, we're going to hinge toward that front leg, trying to keep the side body equally long here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale again towards your triangle. Now pause here, and you're going to use your hands to turn your chest up toward the sky. Keep that top hand on the chest, lifting it up. Bottom hand can release down for a moment and keep turning. Maybe you could even look up. Good. Now we're going to bring that hand back to the heart. And here we go. Inhale, expand both arms. Exhale, back to the heart. And the pelvis is tipping toward the back leg. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale to the heart. One more time. Bend into your knee and release back to your warrior 2. Very nice. Cartwheel your hands down, step back, take the vinyasa if you wish. You can also take a child's pose at any time you wish. Good. And then from here, inhale, plank pose. Lower all the way down to your belly. Good. Couple of cobras here. So pull back with your hands, lift up through your chest and look over your right shoulder. Lengthen through the left side. Release. Lift up and look over your other shoulder. Lengthen through your right side. And release. One more time on each side. You're going to push through those hands, take a little twist. And one more time. Good. And then go ahead and release down. to stack up your hands, give your low back a little wiggle. So we're going to revisit some of that pandiculation work now. So let your head just rest down on your hands and bring your awareness to your right leg. So I'm going to keep my head up so I can be facing you guys, but you're going to have your head down. With your awareness to your right leg, reach that leg back behind you and press it into the ground. Feel that leg engage. And then release it and try the other leg. Reach the leg back behind you and press that leg into the ground. And then release. Good. Back to the right, reach the leg back, press it in. Now lift that leg off the ground any amount. Press the other leg down. Now from here, inhale, lift your chest and pull your arms towards you. Stretch the front of the belly. As you lift your head, lift that leg. And then release. Other side, reach the left leg back, press it into the ground. Now lift it up. And then lift your head and chest, pull your arms towards you, stretch the front of the belly, and let it go. When you let it go, release all the way. Good, back to the right side. Reach that leg back, engage the leg, lift it up. Now, just like we did in tabletop, we're gonna slowly bend that knee. Now, you might only be able to go so far. You might be able to squeeze it in towards your glute. You might be able to try and lift your thigh. And now lift your head and chest. Pull with your arms. Stretch the front of the belly. And now release. Let that leg come all the way back down. Other side, left leg. Reach it back. Engage it. Lift it. And then slowly bend. Any amount. You might go part way. You might squeeze it all the way in toward the glute. And then pull with your hands. Lift your chest. Stretch your belly. Opposite leg presses down. And then let's let it go. And release. Have a breath here. All right, little break from that. Tuck your toes under and start to walk yourself over towards your right side in a little twist. And with your toes tucked under, push back through your legs, or your heels rather, lift your kneecaps, and then press in your palms, pull your palms towards you, and you get, for me, a really big stretch on my left side hip flexor. Breathing here, your chest is lifted. It's like Sphinx pose, but a twist. Yes, you might want to look up here if you're not sure. That's it, you got it now. Let's hold here one more breath. Pull with your hands, reach through your heels, lift your kneecaps. Woo. All right, go ahead and release. Come back to the center. If you need a little break, take it. And then when you're ready, let's walk it over to the other side. So walk your forearms over. You're gonna be propped up like Sphinx pose. Tuck your toes under, lift your kneecaps, push back into your heels, and then pull with your hands as you turn your chest toward the left. Try to pull your right rib cage away from your hip. As you push back through your heels and lift your kneecaps. Let's hold here one more breath. And then let's take it back through the center. And go ahead and come down. Now give your hips another little wiggle. Okay, reach your arms back behind you and turn your palms flat to the ground. Reach both legs back behind you. Engage them. Lift them up. Squeeze them together. Press through your palms. Lift your shoulder heads. And now lift your head, lift your chest into a Shalabhasana. Keep squeezing the legs, press through your palms, lift your shoulder heads. Hold it here, one more breath. And then lower and turn your head to one side. Have a pause and feel the release. So we have all this engagement and contraction and then release. Let's do it again. So this time, reach back through your legs, engage them, lift them up, and this time bend them. And you can flex your feet if you like. You're going to press through your palms, try to lift your shoulder heads. This time, maybe reach the arms back behind you. Maybe try to lift your thighs. Hold here, one more breath. And then release and let it go. Give your hips a little wiggle. And then we're going to slide the hands back, press to tabletop pose. You might want a child's pose after that. We're going to come back to that work a little bit later. Or you might want to circle your hips around. So feel free. If you want a child's pose, you want to move a little bit. If you're taking hip circles, take a few in each direction. Good. And then let's all come back to tabletop pose. Step your right foot forward, come into your lunge, and you can come back up to vertical. Pad that knee if you need to. Inhale the arms up, palms together, behind the back of your head. Inhale, lift those elbows. Exhale, slide into your front knee. Holding here, press down through your feet. Back toes can be tucked if you need to. Hug in with your inner thighs and then lift up through those elbows, maybe gaze up. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Right hand out to the side, left hand to the chest. Open into that myofascial releasing twist. That's it. Inhale, back up to the center. Hands come inside your front foot. Walk your right foot to the right. You're going to be either on your left palm or forearm. Bring your right hand onto your thigh and start to turn your chest to the right, coming into your twist. Good. Take your hand to your heart, right hand, and turn your heart up toward the ceiling. Spiral your left arm outwards. You're an external rotation. Now we're going to bend that back knee and see if you can lift that foot off the ground. Some of you, it might be too much, so you can stay right here. Otherwise, bring it up. And if you can, you're going to reach back with that right hand and see if you can grab your foot, ideally on the pinky toe side. And then we rotate that arm upward. So it's an external rotation. Good. And then we can stay here. We might be able to kind of push that foot back into the hand and turn open a little more. Some of you might like to drop your knee open, coming a little bit farther. So if you can't get all of this, just do what you can. One more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly release, walking that foot back into the center, and then step back, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa if you'd like to take one, or you can stay in your dog for a moment. And then we're going to bring our knees down, step the left foot forward so we enter the same way and come up into that lunge. Okay, find your neutral pelvis, zipper up the belly, lengthen the tail, and then inhale, the arms come overhead. Palms together if you can, and reach up as if you're going to touch your fingertips to the ceiling, and then maybe bend those elbows. So remember, you can progress to whatever works for you. As you inhale, reach those elbows as if they're going to touch the ceiling, and then maybe bend into your front knee into a deeper back bend. Hug the hips in and keep lifting the low belly up. Good. Inhale the arms up. Come back to neutral. Left arm out to the side. Right hand onto the heart. Inhale. And as you exhale, turn and slide that flesh toward the left. Inhale back up through center. Exhale, hands inside the front foot and walk that foot over to the left. So then we progress toward what we call the twisted monkey. Right hand or right forearm, left hand on the thigh. I'm going to turn around. You can stay right here. We can also take the hand to the heart and start to turn that heart up toward the ceiling. Spiral the arm open, that bottom arm. And then from here, we can release that hand, try to bend that back knee, lift the foot off the floor. And those of you who can are going to reach back and catch the foot. If the foot's not accessible, you can keep working on lifting it or leave it down. Totally your choice. Once you've got it, kick your foot into your hand, turn your chest up toward the ceiling and spiral the arms open. One more breath. Maybe you'll even let that knee fall open. And then we'll slowly release. And again, make your way back. Take your time. Be really mindful coming out of these deep poses. Take a vinyasa, a child's pose, or a downward facing dog, your choice. All right, and then we're gonna all slide back down onto the belly. So take your time arriving back on the abdomen. Hands by your chest or head down. Roll your shoulders back. Reach through your legs, engage them, bend your knees, lift your legs. As you inhale, pull with your hands, lift up into a cobra with your knees bent. Now you can stay low or you can start to straighten your arms, lift a little higher, hug the elbows in, open the collarbones, and then release. Pulsing that 2 more times. Pull with your hands, lift your legs, inhale, curl up. Exhale, down. One more time, pull with your hands, inhale, lift up, shoulders back, and release. Good. This time, take your hands, turn them out to the sides, come up into a seal posture. So seal, we straighten the arms. Spiral your elbow creases forward to open your chest and open your collarbones. If this is too much, stay with your cobra. Really lift through your chest. If you want more, move the hands back. If you want less, move the hands forward. And you might lift your legs here off the ground. And curl your head toward your feet. Spiral your arms open. If that's too much, leave the feet down. Last breath. All right, slowly release. Stack up your hands. Wiggle out your forehead. Okay, I'm sure you guys know where we're going by now, but we're gonna still keep on doing some preparation. I'm gonna pop up onto my left forearm and bend the right knee. Let's see if I can reach back and catch that foot. Good. And then I'm gonna press through that left forearm, press my foot toward my hand and turn open. So I'm gonna like kind of turn open toward my right side and scoop the right elbow forward, which opens up my shoulder a bit more, and then kick that foot back. Do the action of trying to lift your thigh. Unless you cramp, then don't do that. One more breath. And then just to feel good, you might bring that foot in. You might flip your fingers and give yourself a nice quad stretch. If that's too much, just skip it, do what you can. And then let it go. All right, so other side. Bring the opposite forearm on a slight angle, press into that forearm, bend your left knee, reach back. You're going to turn your thumb up and catch that foot. Once you've got it, kick the foot back, Scoop the elbow forward so we open up into that shoulder. And then maybe do the action of lifting that thigh. Opposite leg can reach back. Hold here, one more breath. Scooping that elbow under to open the chest tissue. And then you can release and maybe bring that foot in. So you can flip the fingers or just pull the foot in, either way. And then just hold that for another breath. Reach back through your thigh. And then let it all go. Come down and rest for a moment. All right, so we're gonna work toward our full bow pose now. So if it's not accessible to you, you're gonna maybe do some of the previous variations that we did. Those of you who can are gonna progress to a full bow. So just start down with your head resting on your hands. Try to wiggle your rib cage forward. So we get a lot of length there, and then reach your legs back. So we're decompressing. And then lift through your lower hip, lift through your hip points to lengthen your tailbone here. All right, so from here, we're gonna start to bend those knees. And we're gonna reach the arms back and see if you can catch onto your feet or your ankles. If you can, you're gonna rotate your palms up so your shoulders are more open. So do what you can here, but do try to roll those shoulders up and back. Keep the legs close together. You might stay here, or try to kick your feet back and lift your chest up, coming into your full bow. And then release, and we're gonna pulse it. So that's your exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift up. You might find each time you get a little higher. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, let it all go. And feel that contrast between engaging all those muscles of your back and now relaxing them. Wiggle at your hips, maybe windshield wiper your feet side to side. And when you're ready, you're gonna either slide again, tabletop for some hip circles, or you can take it back right to your child's if you're ready. I just kind of like to do this little release before I take a child's pose. And then when you're ready, go ahead and all meet in our child's pose. Any version that you prefer here is fine. Now, we just did a lot of contracting of our back body. So can you now direct your breath into your back and soften and release the tissues of your back? Let's take 3 more breath cycles here. Every exhale, a nice softening. And then after that 3rd breath, we're going to make our way onto our backs. Good work, everybody. So take your time and just cool things down now. So let's come down with your feet flat, knees bent. And take your feet as wide as the mat and let your knees drop in. And I like to even lift my hips and just lengthen out the flesh of the lower back a bit. So constructive rest is a broadening of the lower back, the sacrum. So you might have had some compression after all those back bends. So let's just let it relax for about 5 breaths. So coming back to noticing the rise and fall of your inhale and your exhale. As you inhale, feel a little expansion, and as you exhale, soften your back muscles into the ground. Let's take one more breath, just like this. Can you let go a little bit more? And then we'll separate those knees and take the arms out to a T. Make sure there's no props like right alongside your body. Okay, so from here, I'm just gonna do a little release again for the chest and shoulders. Take your hands and start to roll them toward the direction of your head until your pinky fingers roll all the way to the floor and you arch your back just a little bit. The shoulder blades kind of pull down your back. And then you're gonna do the opposite. Roll your arms forward until your pinkies lift and your shoulders roll forward and you round your back, lift your tailbone, press your lower back into the ground. And now let's alternate that. Inhale, roll the palms open, arch your back a little bit, pinkies roll toward the ground as best you can. And then exhale, roll the palms the other way, shoulders forward. Give a little squeeze to the abdomen, the chest muscles. And then continue on your own a few more rounds. So we inhale, roll to external rotation and arch. And then exhale, roll toward internal rotation and round. So this is really good if we get kind of pinching in our shoulders and our elbows and our wrists. This helps to release this area. This is another kind of a pandiculation. One more round. Okay, so now come to a pause. Some of you have done this with me before, but now our brains have to think a little bit. We're going to do one arm in external and one arm in internal. And it starts to feel like you're kind of wringing out your shoulders and your chest. Take your right arm into external. Roll your pinky toward the head of your mat. And then take your left arm into internal. Roll your thumb down, lift your pinky. And so go ahead and just kind of squeeze in that direction and then reverse. Take the arms the other way. Now your head might roll in the direction of your arms. Like my head tends to roll when I'm externally rotating. So you guys get that? Tracy, are you okay?
I have a 5-year-old birthday party Zoom call coming up in 10 minutes. So okay. I'm going to sign off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Tracy. Have a great day. Take care. Okay, guys, we're going to add on to that now. Hopefully you got that. Just come to a pause. We're going to keep with the arm external internal rotation and add a windshield wiper of our legs. So take your feet as wide as your mat and start to windshield wiper your legs side to side. Let your head roll opposite of your knees. Push off the feet as you twist and get a little arch to your spine. Let your head roll away from the knees. Now, we'll start to add in the arms. So the arm you're looking at, externally rotate it, internally rotate the other arm, and then switch. So the knees are going opposite of your head. The arm you're looking at is external. The opposite arm is internal. And at the same time as you're twisting, you're also reaching out through your arms and pressing into your feet. Go slowly and notice your body, notice sensations where you're stretching, where you're contracting. So another kind of a pandiculation, helping to release tension in our chest and our back, our psoas, our hips. One more on each side, guys. So let this just be like a really nice, relaxing movement. And after you finish, one more on each side. Come back to center. And then bring your knees into your chest and give them a good squeeze. You could rock a little bit side to side. Massage out that lower back. You can take this into a happy baby if you wish, bringing those feet up, holding the ankles or the feet, or you could stay with a knee hug if you prefer. And then we'll hug in one more time. If there's anything that would help you feel complete, you're welcome to do that before you set up for your Shavasana. So take your time, get yourself set up. You can grab any props that would help you feel supported. Maybe something under your head or your knees. So I'll give you guys a couple moments to get settled. So make sure your lower back feels comfortable, particularly after all that work in the hamstrings and lower back. So it might mean a little support under your knees, or you can even do Shavasana with your feet flat if your back is speaking to you. Noticing if your chin is higher than your forehead, and let the chin come down a little bit. Lengthen the back of your neck. And then coming back for a few more moments of conscious breathing. Noticing the pulsation of the breath, the inhale and the exhale. The subtle expansion and contraction. Let the earth receive you. And allow yourself to receive and release the breath. Letting the breath become softer and softer, more internal and more quiet. And even as it gets more quiet and soft, it's still kind of equally deep. Not forceful deep, but gentle deep. Feel the tug on the heart as you inhale. And the release as you exhale. And then quietly releasing the control of the breath and simply be here in this moment, completely receptive to the gifts of your practice. Allow your being to receive and absorb the gifts of your practice, so that the gifts of your practice support you in sharing your gifts with the world. So we fill up, we take care of our own bodies, our soma, And as we give back to ourselves, we have more to give others. So I'm going to give you guys another couple of minutes just to rest. Letting all of those tissues of the back body in particular release into the ground. So staying where you are for a few more moments and just noticing the effects of your practice. Oftentimes I find I feel a little more balanced here at the end of the practice. This area of the heart chakra that we worked on today is this area from which we give and receive. We give and receive the breath, and we also give and receive of our love and affection. But when there's an imbalance there, maybe we're taking too much from others, we might be depleting others, or maybe we're giving too much and depleting ourselves. In other worlds, we call that codependency, right? So we seek to find that balance between giving and receiving. So we're not depleting ourselves or others or our planet. So notice the balance that you feel here at the end of your practice and have the intention of taking that off your mat and out into your life. Let the breath deepen a little bit here, moving fingers, moving toes, maybe stretching it out. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and roll to your side. Come on up to a seated posture as you're ready. Take your time, try not to pop up too quickly. Hold on to this sense of balance. And as you arrive seated, make sure you're comfortable. So maybe that cushion again under your sit bones, and we'll sit up nice and tall for just another minute or two. Find the tops of your sit bones, maybe widen them and broaden them. Centering your rib cage over your pelvis and shoulders over your pelvis. Let the chin drop just enough that you feel a lift through the back of your skull. And then either close the eyes or find a simple gazing point. As you inhale, feel that subtle lengthening of your spine. And an expansive quality. And as you exhale, keep the length of your spine, but soften the outer body. Soften the face, the inner gaze. And do that a few more cycles. Back to that conscious breathing. Noticing the diaphragm moving down toward the pelvic floor as you inhale. And as you exhale, the softening of the outer body and of the face. Finish with a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Love is the capacity to take care, to protect, to nourish. If you're not capable of generating that kind of energy toward yourself, if you are not capable of taking care of yourself, of nourishing yourself, protecting yourself, it is very difficult to take care of another person. In the Buddhist teaching, it's clear that to love oneself is the foundation of the love of others. Love is a practice. Love is truly a practice. Let's bring our hands together now in front of the heart space. Take an inhale, lifting through your heart space, and exhale, bow your head down to complete your practice. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. Namaste. All right, guys, thank you for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Feel free to unmute if you would like. Hope you have a good Valentine's Day. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you.
Good to see you guys.
Awesome, Dee. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
Laurel,
you,
I didn't see you
Dee.
come in. Thank
Hi.
you.
I'm sorry.
Hey. Oh, no worries. I'm glad you made it.
It was amazing. Thank you.
Buddy. Oh, good. How'd you guys do with everything? Do okay?
It was awesome.
Oh, good, good.
Bye.
All right. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Galentine's.
You too. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, Chris, what's new? Oh, she left. She just left. I was going to talk to her.